Arizona has officially joined the Big 12 Conference. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I am RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button for the latest breaking news when it comes to all things Big 12 realignment. Also talking Texas Tech football, Texas Tech men's basketball, and hey, we'll even talk Big 12 sports betting as I work in that industry as well. So if you want to be part of one of the fastest growing Big 12 communities here on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on all things Big 12. And while we're at it, like the video. If you're excited about Arizona joining the Big 12 after what felt like months of speculation that really increased over the past 2 weeks, we finally have a resolution right here, and the Arizona Wildcats are now a part of the Big 12 as the 14th team. But hey, that's how it is right now. So again, if you like that Arizona is part of the Big 12, be sure to like the video. How did this all go down, though? This is what we're going to talk about, and then we'll also discuss that 11th hour Hail Mary by the Pac-9, which is about to probably be, I don't even know at this point, the Pac-4. I don't know. I'm not good at math. But listen, we're going to talk about that, but let's jump right into this. And the guy that's been on top of it, Jason Scheer from Wildcat Authority, was the one that broke the news. Arizona is officially a part of the Big 12. And you got to give credit to a guy like Jason Scheer. He really fought his way through a bunch of BS coming out from the West Coast in terms of conference realignment, and he has been spot on virtually every step of the way. But when you look at how this actually went down, there was a Board of Regents meeting on Thursday, August 3rd, and, well, it was public for a little bit, and then they went behind closed Zoom doors, I guess you would call them, to discuss everything. The Zoom lasted about 90 minutes to 2 hours, and there wasn't a resolution there other than the fact that, hey, Arizona wanted to go to the Big 12, and Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports actually said that this meeting happened. And now you look at what was going on in terms of the Big 12 side of it at this respective moment. Before that meeting actually happened, the Big 12 had already confirmed that, hey, we've accepted Arizona in. All they have to do is apply. Well, the Wildcats applied, and now they are the 14th member of the Big 12 conference. I think the biggest thing for me is this is just a wild process that it took this long when it was very clear. But the reason it took this long is also very clear. Listen, Crow from Arizona State, the president out there, I don't know what he's doing. And maybe Arizona State and Utah join the Big 12 later on. But the reason this took so long is because the Arizona Board of Regents wanted Arizona and Arizona State to be lumped together, right? Well, Robbins, the president, Robert Robbins, that is, from Arizona, is a big sports fan. He understands the importance of athletics, right? And if you listen to guys much more in the know on Arizona, whether that's football, men's basketball, just the athletic program in general, they know how lucky they are to have a guy like this, right? And he was pushing forward, hey, we need to go to the Big 12 right now to ensure that we can, have stability in our athletic department, where we don't have to lay people off, where we don't have to cut programs, like where we know we can keep what we have, right? And now they're in, and now it's more of a waiting game to see if the Big 12 goes even bigger. Maybe they get 15 and 16, but right now we know that Arizona is for sure in the Big 12 right now as the 14th member. So what does the Big 12 look like now, right? This is ABC order right here for you down at the bottom of the screen. You got Arizona, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas, Texas Tech, UCF, and West Virginia. Now, again, that's how it stands right now, but obviously Oklahoma and Texas will be out by the time that Colorado and Arizona are within the conference next year. I got one more question for you. One word to describe the new Big 12. And again, take Oklahoma and Texas out of it. You replace them, obviously, with the 4 schools coming in this year in BYU, UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati. But now you add 2 from the western part of the country. Can't technically say West Coast. In Colorado and Arizona. Give me your one word to describe the new Big 12 conference going into next football season, the 2024 season. All right. There's a lot here. And again, I want to preface everything by saying this. Like, I do not like conference realignment. I want that to be known. I'm a big proponent of regional college football. I enjoy those rivalries. And it absolutely sucks, in my opinion, that two athletic departments like Oregon State and Washington, I mean, they basically go from making 30 million a year to maybe they're in the Mountain West making 4, maybe 5 tops, right? And who knows how that impacts their athletic department as a whole and how they have to lay people off or cut programs or whatever it may be. There's a lot to this that go on behind the scenes, and it sucks in the grand scheme of things. And I'll get off my spiel here in a second, that when it comes down to it, TV companies won. That's what it is. And it kind of sucks that we went after this. And I thought Dion said it best. How are you going to get mad at kids for chasing a bag when colleges are doing the same thing, right? And media companies have obviously had a big reason why that we see conference realignment. How are you going to get mad at the transfer portal for a kid going to check out his options and everything like that? If you like what's going on right now in college football, you can't be hypocritical and be upset about the transfer portal. So that's just how I stand about it. But let's jump into the nitty gritty in terms of how historic of a day this is for college football. Because again, Arizona had been rumored for a while. But the biggest part of this probably was the first big domino that dropped before Arizona officially joined the Big 12. And that was Oregon and Washington announcing that they are going to the Big 10, right? They got to work out the financials, but that's all but done at this point. So that was really the end all of the Pac-12. Actually, let's go back. The ending of the Pac-12 really started when USC and UCLA decided to go to the Big 10. And it's funny how the Big 10 doesn't want the blood of the Pac-12 on their hands, but it was clearly them that did it. Anyway, doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. This is more about the Big 12 perspective for Arizona. It's huge for them to join the conference. You make a men's basketball league that's arguably the best already in college basketball, probably is the best in college basketball when you look at it, that much bigger. And I've heard some people say, I don't want to hitch my wagon to men's college basketball. Well, that's ridiculous. It's not going anywhere. I hear the overtime elite argument. Well, because they're paying players? Isn't that what's going on in NIL? Look at Oscar Tshiebwe, for example. He came back after winning the National Player of the Year to Kentucky. You don't think more guys are going to do that if colleges and NIL collectives throw out bags? Come on now. College basketball is in a great spot, and the Big 12 is in a great spot because they have another school like Arizona. And for me, again, this is an historic day for college sports in general, but I think more so on the landscape of college football because, again, if you pay attention to conference realignment, let's be real, this is mostly because of college football. And I think Arizona brings a little bit more than people think, especially now that they can go recruit in Texas a little bit more heavily, right? But for me, when I look at this, it really just sucks again for schools like Oregon State and Washington State. But from a Big 12 perspective, this was a no-brainer. Adding a school like Arizona, just a simple no-brainer, in my opinion. And now eventually maybe Arizona State and Utah join as well. But when it comes down to it, you add a school in a market out in Arizona that really you can do a lot with if you're the Big 12. And now you think about it, you got another rivalry coming back up a little bit. You got to go back a long ways to the border conference, but Texas Tech and Arizona, maybe they're a natural rivalry. Colorado, Arizona, maybe they become rivals as well. There's a lot going on, and this is beneficial to the Big 12. Again, Brett Yormark and crew have done a phenomenal job at keeping the Big 12 afloat and really accelerating the process where the Big 12 probably, in all honesty, if it wasn't for Brett Yormark, would be in the position the Pac-12 is. It's all about leadership at this point, right? And the Big 12 has some of the best leadership when it comes to the commissioner and higher level thinkers in college athletics. It's that simple. And so you add a school like Arizona, you got 14. Now they join alongside Colorado coming into 2024. Maybe some other schools join as well to go to 16 because you do have that flexibility with ESPN. You would have to renegotiate with Fox as the full payout is only at 14 teams for Fox, 16 for ESPN. Maybe there's some finagling there, or maybe Arizona State and Utah take a partial share or whatnot, and you're number one, and then they renegotiate after that. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing is this got done for the Big 12, and now you have 14 teams going into 2024 after Texas and OU leave. And again, one more time, if you were excited for Arizona to join the Big 12, like the video. It's that simple. And hey, if you want to stay in the know on Big 12 realignment, we'll probably have a live video here answering some questions and what we know, talking about Jason Scheer, what he knows, and others that are really in the know when it comes down to Big 12 realignment now. be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll talk Texas Tech football, Texas Tech men's basketball, but we'll talk everything Big 12 too, specifically sports betting, realignment, and hey, some of the standouts as well throughout the year in football and men's basketball. So if you want to stay in the know all year long on the Big 12 and Texas Tech, be sure to hit that subscribe button and do so right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.